Welcome to video 4. This is part of the 5 series video on revenue recognition. We're going to talk about allocate. How do you allocate transaction price to performance obligations? You have got a $150,000 contract for software, implementation and training. How much revenue do you assign to each piece? Most people would split it evenly. They would say, okay, let's put it $50,000 each. Okay. But under ASC 606, that's incorrect. You will need to allocate based on the standalone selling prices, and the math will actually surprise you. Now, I don't have a whiteboard over here, so what I would like to do is just go over simple math so it registers. Once you know your performance obligations and the transaction price, you need to divide the money among them proportionately. This matters because different obligations get recognized at different times. If you get the allocation wrong, your revenue timing will be off. So we're going to go into the details of that. The first thing that you have to realize is that the allocation is based on standalone selling prices. What you charge for each item if they are sold separately. So the first step that you have to take, step 1, determine the standalone selling prices. And what's the best approach? Observe the prices out in the market. What do you actually charge other customers for if you sell them distinctly, each piece distinctly? If you sell the software license sold for $120,000 separately, that's separate. Implementation is sold for, let's say, $60,000. Training is $30,000, so that's $210,000. If you don't sell them separately, then you look at the competitor pricing or look at the use cost plus margins estimates, but you generally narrow this down. And the first thing that you do is you calculate the allocation. So say, for example, you are selling this bundle goods, say you're selling it only for $150,000 instead of $210,000. So now you have to allocate this based upon the $210,000 as a base. Each item, its standalone price divided by the total standalone prices times the contract amount is a math that you have to follow. So I'll just give you one example. So you have the $120,000 and you have the $210,000 base and you have the $150,000 contract value. Then the amount you'll recognize is only $85,000. In implementation, you'll end up recognizing maybe $43,000. And for the training, it'll probably be $21,000. It'll be $21,000. I did the math. But that's based upon the proportional assignment. So 85 plus 42 plus 21 rounds about $150,000, which is what the contract is. And why does this matter? Without proper allocation, you might recognize too much revenue upfront, or you might spread it incorrectly over time. You might even defer revenue. I'll give you another real world example. Let's say you're doing a consulting firm contract, which is very common. You do a $200,000 total contract. In that, you have strategy consulting for 3 months, and the standalone price is about $150,000 for the strategy consulting piece. You have the implementation support, the 6-month enterprise, and you do a standalone price of $100,000. Then you have this kickoff training workshop 1 day, standalone price is $25,000. So what is your total standalone value? About $275,000. So now what you need to do is you have to allocate that proportionately across those three line items, whether it's strategy, whether it's implementation, and it's training. But here's a catch. Now you know that there is a 6-month and a 3-month and a 1-day kickoff. You will have to be able to roll that into your revenue recognition impact, right? So on the revenue recognition impact, the strategy consulting, you will end up recognizing based on the allocation about $110,000 over 3 months. Yes, not over a year, not over 6 months, 3 months. Your implementation will be recognized $72,000 over 6 months. And your training, it'll be about $18,000 when the workshop is delivered. So there are special cases. Variable consideration is very critical as well. Why? Because the contract might include bonuses tied to specific performance obligations. It might end up allocating those bonuses only to those related obligations, You might include discounts, contract level discounts that get allocated proportionally across all performance obligations, unless the contract says different. So a practical tip is to document your standalone selling price method. Auditors will ask you how you determine these amounts. So in short, I think a proper allocation, it ensures that revenue recognition timing reflects the economic reality of your contract. Again, it reflects the economic reality of your contract. Each performance obligation gets its fair share based on standalone value. Don't just split contract amounts evenly. Use standalone selling prices to get the allocation right. And also look at the timetable of how these are going to be implemented across a period of time. Next week, we'll cover the final step, or next video, when to actually recognize the revenue. That is where we will determine whether the recognition happens over time, or importantly, does it happen at a point in time. Okay? Thank you so much. I'll probably cover it today on this video itself. Take care. Cheers. Bye.